Thanks, Amanda. They've probably just gotten their full driver's license, and most won't have even graduated high school yet. But if the task force for the legalization of marijuana has its way, then they will be allowed to smoke pot legally. Many in the medical community aren't thrilled at the prospect of 18-year-olds being able to smoke marijuana by law.
By no means is an age where the whole brain is developed.
And yet, that's the age the task force for the legalization of marijuana has recommended for its legal consumption, despite a suggestion by the Canadian Medical Association that the age be set at 21.
There's good scientific evidence that the brain continues to develop up until that age, and we know that in the developing brain there can be harmful consequences of marijuana use, particularly at younger ages and at higher doses and quantities.
Where we've arrived is a fairly sensible point at which to draw a line that Canadian adults can make decisions.
Dr. Jürgen Rem analyzes health data and prevention methods for the Centre for Addictions and Mental Health. He says ideally the minimum age requirements would be higher, not just for marijuana, but for other substances too.
Looking at health reasons, we wouldn't allow alcohol until 21, we wouldn't allow pot until 21, but this is in a different world. We live in a world where we know that kids way younger than 18, way younger than 16, are starting smoking pot. This is affecting their brains. So we have to try to come up with pragmatic solutions to minimize the harm.
Another recommendation is that tax revenue raised from the sale of pot be channeled into public awareness campaigns. But Wren says that will only work if it's done properly.
There are such campaigns which have shown no effect whatsoever.
But he says some of the recommendations, like plain packaging and a limit on advertising, could help reinforce an education campaign.
21.
Most people we spoke with said 18 is still too young to be smoking dope. But if kids are going to do it, it's better to be regulated.
I think that's probably too young, but regardless, people are going to do whatever they want. If they set an age or not, they're not going to follow the rules. They're not going to stick to that.
As far as age concerned, it doesn't matter. If you're going to smoke it, you're going to smoke it, aren't you? If you're going to use it, you're going to use it.
The panel suggested provinces could set higher age requirements, something Ontario's Attorney General hinted could be coming.
What we heard very clearly, that we need to protect our youth and vulnerable, that we have to promote public health and safety, and focus on prevention and harm reduction.
Now, it's important to remember that these are just recommendations to guide the Liberals as they move towards legalizing marijuana for everyday use. The federal government is expected to introduce a bill in the spring.